Hello guys, and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be making my predictions for game week number 12 of the 25-26 Premier League season. But before we begin, let's have a look at how I did last week. Before the international break, I got no outcomes and scorelines correct, but I got two outcomes. That is 2 points, taking my season total up to 69. And this is how the Premier League table looks after 11 matches so far. And without further ado, let's predict this weekend. And we're going to start with Burnley against Chelsea in what is it's a tricky game to predict. Burnley have been good at Turf Moor this season. They've been good at home. But Chelsea have been getting the results over the line on a frequent basis. And I do think that Chelsea just have more quality. It's tricky because with this game being at Turf Moor, I can see Burnley getting a result from somewhere, but I do like the quality Chelsea has on the pitch, even though they are missing Cole Palmer still with injury. I just look at that and I think like Estevao and Caicedo, Trevor Chalobah. Like Chelsea have some decent players that can score goals, and I'm gonna back them for the win 2-1. 2-1 to Chelsea, and 3 points to push on and maybe solidify a place in the title fight. Next up, we've got Liverpool against Nottingham Forest, and this is a game last season I remember for being quite an interesting one, where Forest beat Liverpool 1-0, and that was when Liverpool were actually on decent form. Liverpool's form has kind of fallen off a cliff recently. I think they've got 2 wins, one against Frankfurt in the Champions League, and the other one was against Aston Villa in the Premier League. And that's Villa's only loss in the last 5 matches. I do still feel like Liverpool aren't on the best of form, and Forest are starting to press forward under Sean Dyche. I think I'm going to sit on the fence with a draw on this one. I can see both teams scoring a couple goals, so I'm going for a Desmond on this one, a 2-2 draw. I don't know which side that will favour. I'm going to go down the middle, 2-2. And next up, we've got Bournemouth against West Ham United. And this is another fairly tricky one. West Ham, obviously, they were struggling under Graham Potter, but with Nuno at the helm, I think he's started to churn out results with these good players that he has at his disposal at his West Ham side, and I could give them a draw. But that being said, I'm not even sure they'll get a goal here, because Bournemouth have been very impressive this season, and especially at the Vitality. I think I'm going to back Bournemouth for the win and the clean sheet here. And Andoni Areola's boys will win 2-0. 2-0 the Cherries. I think Bournemouth just have that defensive quality about them. So 2-0 Bournemouth. Next up, we've got Wolves against Crystal Palace. And this is an interesting one. Wolves, obviously before the international break, they sacked during the international break Vitor Pereira. They've brought in Rob Edwards from Middlesbrough. Of course, we've seen what he can do in the past with Luton, although he got them back-to-back relegations from the Premier League down to League One. I don't really know what to expect from Rob Edwards here, but I know one thing I do know is this Palace side are very impressive, very strong this season, and they're going to be hard to beat. And I think Wolves might start pushing on for a fresh start this season now that they've brought in a new manager, but I just don't think it starts here. Not against the Palace side, who are very hard to score against. With it being at Molineux, I could give Wolves something, but I'm going to back Palace for the win here. 2-0. I think Palace just have too much quality. Even Jean-Philippe Mateta, you know, he could score both goals and single-handedly almost give Palace the victory, but 2-0 Palace. Next up, we've got Brighton against Brentford in the Battle of the Bees. And, well, I just look at this game and I see draw written all over it. Both these sides have been very impressive this season so far. Brighton have been pulling out results, and so has Brentford. I must say Brentford have been more impressive than I thought they'd be this season at the start of the year when they lost their manager and their 3 best players. I was a little bit worried about them, but they've been alright. And Brighton, I kind of predicted them to be in and around where they are at the minute, in mid-table. With this being at the Amex, I could edge Brighton, but then I look at Brentford and I'm like, they've done well as well this season. I'm going to sit on the fence with a 1-1 draw here. I think with both these sides being mid-table, I think a draw is going to help both, at least a point. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw on this one. Let's share the spoils. Next up, we've got Fulham against Sunderland. And it's at Craven Cottage, and I feel like Fulham will pick up the most of their points at Craven Cottage this season. But Sunderland, they've just kept impressing this season. And, you know, just before the international break, they went to Arsenal and drew 2-2. And we all know how difficult it is to even score against Arsenal this season. It's pretty tricky. I can't look past the Sunderland side. I think the Black Cats might start moving again. They're currently 4th in the league. Fulham are just above the drop zone, and I am a bit worried about them now. But I think Sunderland still have enough quality in the tank here. I think Fulham will start to get the results over the line eventually, but not just here. I'm going for Sunderland to win 2-1. 2-1 to the away side. I just think the quality of Sunderland have enough to get this over the line. We'll see if Sunderland can keep this form going when a lot of their players go off to AFCON in January or whenever it is next year. But for now, I'm backing Sunderland to keep their winning streak going, 2-1. Next up, we move on to tomorrow's late kickoff, 5:30. It's Newcastle United against Manchester City. And on paper, this should be an easy match to predict. Man City on great form. Newcastle aren't on the best of form, especially at home. But do I go for a draw? No, I can't look past this Man City side with Haaland banging in the goals this season. I think he's got 14 goals. Man City have got 23 this season. But with that being said, I can also see the likes of Voltemada and possibly like Anthony Gordon or even like a Jacob Murphy or Joe Linton popping up and scoring a couple goals for Newcastle here. But I just look at City's quality and I think they've got enough. I'm going for a high-scoring game here, high-scoring affair. I'm going Man City to win 4-2. I think there could be a shipload of goals this game, and City ultimately get the 3 points with a 4-2 win. Next up, we've got Leeds United against Aston Villa. And this is another tricky one. I like Leeds at Elland Road this season, but Villa are on great form at the minute. Got to be one of the form teams of the Prem coming into this match. Leeds, their form started to tail off. I know a few Leeds fans want Farker out. I do feel like if he does lose this match, his days might be numbered as Leeds boss. And that being said, I can see him losing this match because Villa have been firing. I mean, there's only been players that have scored 3 goals this season, Marlon and Buendia. But with that being said, I think Villa's quality will shine, and they'll show in this one and win 2-1. I think Leeds might score a goal from somewhere, but Villa will get the win, 2-1. Next up, we go to game of the week in the Premier League. It's the North London derby. It's Arsenal against Tottenham Hotspur. And see, if this was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I might back Spurs to get something here. But with it being at the Emirates, I do like Arsenal. Arsenal have been in great form recently. And I think Spurs, they started strong this season, but I think in recent times it started to tail off a bit recently. I don't think they've had that many goals being scored by anybody. Yeah, I think, you know, the likes of Saka and Rice even impressed for England in the break. And I think they'll come back and Arsenal will win. I'm going to give Spurs a goal, but Arsenal are going to win 2-1. I think Arsenal just have too much quality. Even though I think Gabriel might be out for this match, but I still think Arsenal have enough for the 3 points. 2-1 Arsenal. And then the final match for me to predict is Monday night's match. It's Manchester United against Everton at Old Trafford. You know, if I'd have looked at this game a few weeks ago, I'd have said this could be tricky. And I mean, about a month or two ago, I'd have said quite a convincing Everton win. But Man United have started to turn things around. They're in good form recently. Everton, they've started to slow down a bit in terms of their form. It is a David Moyes derby, and I do think Everton might come here and maybe keep it at a close game. I think it's tricky to predict. I think either Man United go 1-0 up and Everton score and Man United get last minute winner, or I think Everton might go 1-0 up and United might find 2 goals from somewhere. I am going for Man United to win 2-1. I think just the quality they have in Mbeumo, Fernandes, even Cunha is firing. I do think just Man United's form might just get them over the line here. 2-1 United. And there you have it, guys. All 10 Premier League matches predicted for Game Week 12. Make sure to let me know your predictions in the comments down below. I'd love to hear them. And yeah, we'll see how well I do next week. I hope I do better than 2 points before the international break. But yeah, we'll see how I do. And I'll see you all in the next one.